What up, y'all? It's Crew, also known as a Rainy Storm, checking in for the Mars activation. Okay, the Mars activation. We talking about the big fucking leap. I mean, it's not called the big fucking leap, but it's the big leap. Jupiterian, Sagittarius energy. You know, lift off, counting down the numbers. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. You feel me? But before we get into this Mars activation, I just want to say everybody who's come into this activation, thank you for supporting. I really, really do appreciate y'all for supporting me. You know what I'm saying? This is definitely something that I put my heart, my soul, my energy into as I put it into myself. And it's just, for me, it's just something that honestly I could talk about all fucking day. I can write about all day. I could talk to other people. You know what I mean? Like it's in my soul. It's in my spirit. So I think just to be so connected and being able to talk about, not only just astrology, but something that means so much to me, especially when it comes to Mars. For real, like I goes in about Mars. And so in collaboration with these other planets, it only expands, my knowledge of, Mars in comparison or in collaboration with the other planets. So it's pretty fucking dope. And so before we do get started, though, I do want to make an announcement. We had Jupiter, Mars activation, Pluto, the Phoenix Rising. That was the last one. So if you missed the Phoenix Rising, you could definitely go to that. It's on the website. The links will be below if you missed that and you would like to see that. And it's so crazy because as I was researching and doing and trying to figure out what I wanted to talk about on this one, I was like, it's so crazy how these go hand in hand. We talk about the, Phoenix rising and or going down into the ashes, and then we get to Jupiter when you're rising above the ashes and going into the unknown, going into the beyond. Going into the portal. And I think a lot of times we get to Libra. And we'll get back to Libra next year, but we get to Libra and we're trying to find this balance, within our lives and things like that. But then when it comes down to getting to Scorpio, it's so crazy that I started it in Scorpio season. But when we get to Scorpio, a lot of times it's hard for people to really go down, that rabbit hole or that just self. I actually had a conversation with my niece today, and I promise y'all I won't keep this on because y'all know I could talk for fucking days. And those that know me know I'd be going. She called me and told me, one of her, her. I hate to say it's so crazy because the older I get, it's I want to say little friend. Y'all know little friend when somebody says little friend, within the Black community, when we say little friend, because we don't want to say boyfriend or girlfriend and stuff like that. But yes, her boyfriend actually had, a conversation with her about some of the dreams that he was having. And I won't go too deep into the dream or anything. But it's so crazy how my family comes to me when they need dream interpretations. I had a dream about this, but what do you think it means? They always coming to me well, what do you think this dream means? And then I just piece apart the whole thing. Yeah, so it could be, you know what I mean? And basically, she was talking about how she told him that he should meditate on the dream, which, shit, at 14 years old, that's just not conversations that I really hear too often, from the youth. So for her to talk about that, and it's in relation to the Scorpio, the Phoenix rising, this dream had to do with death. But like I said, I won't put you on the spot. You know what I'm saying? If you ever do get a chance to view this, but it did have to do with death. And one of the things that was mentioned was the fact that dealing with not the spiritual death in the dream, but a physical death that this particular person had to go through. It was just like they don't want to be silent. They don't want to be. They need noise around them. You know what I mean? They need things moving and going, because when it's time to get quiet, when it's time to get into that mode of listening to your inner thoughts, it could be hard for a lot of people to go there. It could be really hard for a lot of people to go there. So I totally understand. That's why I'm going to make a part 2 of the Phoenix Rising. I don't know when I'm going to make the part 2, but I'm definitely going to make a part 2 because I rewatched the video and I was like, yeah, but we could go deeper. You know what I mean? Like we could go a little deeper. So we going to go deeper. You know what I'm saying? And I know, y'all, I know that going, you know, deep down inside of yourself can be difficult. I know that the shit can feel, you know, it's a lot of things associated with going deep in those dark places, you know, that we constantly avoid or are distracted by. But I promise you, when you get to the other side, man, it's so much. It's so much. You'll feel so much better. You'll feel so much better about life. Your perspective of life will shift. You know, your inner world and your inner body will feel complete, you know, and whole once you go through that Phoenix energy, once you go down into the Scorpio. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Jupiter. And, you know, as I make this video, we're going to be actually experiencing the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction. And what's today? As I record this, today is Wednesday. So next week by this time, we will be experiencing the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction. So imagine that, you know what I mean? And each month I'm focusing on a different planet. So we'll be talking about Capricorn, Saturn, the Capricorn energy, Capricornian energy, and things like that. So basically, if we're talking about this Mars activation, for those of y'all that are coming in for the first time, because I don't want to assume everybody who's coming to this one went to the last one. So what is a Mars activation, and how did I get started doing Mars activations? Honestly, Mars activations really came to me. When I was studying astrology, there was something about the planet Mars that I really resonated with. Just the energy of taking actions on things, or going forth and doing things, harnessing like that sexual creative energy within yourself to build your inner power and build a sense of self, you know what I mean? And I felt like also too with that, I don't, honestly, y'all, like, it's crazy now that I look back at it, and even as I have more conversations about it, I really don't know how I got to this place. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like something told me like Mars activations. I started actually doing, I didn't talk about it too deep in the other video. And excuse me, y'all, in the other video too, if you're watching this video, because I can tell that Scorpio season did a number on me. You know what I mean? I'm sure it did for a lot of people. It did a number on me. So my energy was a little different during Scorpio season and the new moon and all of that, because it was just a lot. So, you know, I just want to put that out there for those of y'all that might be watch that video and watching this video. Like, I know, trust, like, you know. But it was still a good video all in all. You know what I'm saying? I could tell, I'm like, my energy's different. But what was I saying? The Gemini in me. Oh, Mars activations. So something told me to do these Mars activations. So when I started first doing the Mars activations, what I initially set out to do, I just remember telling this somebody that I was working with the Mars activations to do. I was like, yo, you know, I would like to use Mars to try to, you know, get to know your birth chart and see how you can move forward. I was also still heavily into North Node and South Node astrology, karmic astrology. And so basically using your Mars energy to propel you into your North Node, to help you push forth into your North Node energy. Understanding your South Node energy, but also using Mars to push you into the North Node. So that's a little bit what it was at first. So I actually started doing Mars activations for me was like body work healing. So if we talking about sexual energy, I would use the senses. So everything from like, and all this stuff was without touching. I just want to let y'all know. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that I did with these Mars activations when I first started, and the person that allowed me, you know, to do the Mars activations on them, I did everything without touching. Was it touching? I'm sorry, y'all. Like I'm over here like, wait, was that? I think it was touch, but it was like more of like a massage. You know what I mean? It wasn't like tantric, or maybe it could be tantric, or maybe it could be counted as tantric sex, but or just in the tantric field, but it wasn't sex. It was just like, you know, everything from like feathers, so like moving the energy with the feathers. Honestly, that's probably when I realized that I had an inner shaman in me during that time. That's when I was like, motherfuckers might be shaman. You know what I mean? I'm probably a shaman. I am a shaman now, but like, I think that's when I started to realize that like, how, you know, especially when I did it, I was like, oh shit, like it's more to this. You know what I mean? So I did everything from like sound, so music. At the time, the person I was doing it on had this color lamp or this color light. So I was using like different colors to, you know, move through energy. So I would kind of be able to feel out the energy sequence of the different times that we did do these activations. I think I did like 3 of them, 3 different times. I would use herbs. So I would combine herbs, and then I would do like a steam, like basically steam the herbs. And so depending on where we were doing it, but just for example, like the room I had was fairly small at the time, and so I would put a towel under the door, and then the steam would create like this mist in the room. You know what I mean? It would create like this, it was definitely a vibe, but you know, it wasn't just for the vibe, but it definitely would create that. We had everything from like fire, and then I would use the steam to begin to move the energy in the body. I would create my own oil out of some of the herbs and let it seep in olive oil, and then I would take that and like start moving the energy. So yeah, it was touch. So I would use that to move the energy out of the body. So I would start usually from the feet or the legs, and then I would kind of work my way up all the way to the crown, and then I would take that energy and then move it back down and out the feet. I don't know where it came from, y'all. Like honestly, like it wasn't like I was learning or reading. And I know some might say, well, don't you? It was like something in me was like showing me how to move this energy around. It was wild. It was really wild, but I know now that that was actually something that I was probably doing in my past life, more than likely. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely like a very spiritual experience. And then I would kind of use the feather to help guide, you know, the energy, any negative energies out of the body. I just remember specifically there was a time that I did it, and there was like the person that I was doing it on kind of started their body was like pulsating and shit, like, and not like a what's it called? What's that? Not like an exorcism or anything. Not like not that. No, not at all. Not that type of thing. But they were having if I'm gonna be real, they was having an orgasm from the energy that was being moved out of their body. And so yeah, it was pretty intense. I wouldn't recommend y'all go out and do it yourselves. This person in particular just allowed me to, practice on them, because something was like telling me that this is something that I was able to do. It wasn't like I was just like, oh, I just want to, no, something was telling me that this is something that I was able to do. I had permission to do. So I went ahead and did this shit. You know what I mean? I asked if it was cool. I got permission from the other person and we did it. So I just want to put that out there, right? So that's how I got started with the Mars activations, for real, like in depth. And it got to a point where, this person wanted to do more Mars activations, but honestly, it's a lot of energy. And at that point, I felt like I needed to kind of build my own energy up, because I felt like a lot of energy I was giving away, and I was willingly giving energy away, So I was like, well, let me try to, build my own energy up, build my own spirit up, get my healing, you know what I'm saying? Because at that time, there was just a lot of stuff going on. The South Node was in, was it South Node? Yeah, South Node was in Cap. Was it Cap? Or it was about to be in Capricorn. I think it might have been in Virgo at the time. I think the North Node might have been in Virgo at that time. Or the North Node was in Leo, I think, at that time. And the South Node was in Aquarius. So I had to get my healing. You know what I'm saying? I had to get my own shit on, because mentally, with Aquarius moving through my 12th, it was a lot. So, but enough about that. That's just a little bit about Mars activations. But like I said before, I use Mars to help you, to really prepare you to that next chapter, to your North Node, so you can help learn the lessons and understand the lessons of why you come here to this particular lifetime. Okay, so that's a little bit about that. I've been doing North Node, South Node consultations, and I also do Mars activations as well. So if you definitely want to book that information will be below. But let's get started on this big leap. The big leap, this Jupiterian big leap. Oh my God, it's so much. Those of y'all that don't know what Mars is actually ruled over Aries and Scorpio. This is the energy that is very fiery. It's very passionate. This is the type of energy that goes after what it wants. You know what I'm saying? So you can look to Mars to see how you go about, like I tell everybody, getting the thing in your life. You know what I mean? This is very sexual. It's very raw, unfiltered energy that we all have. So this is how we flirt. This is how we fuck. This is how, when we get angry and pissed off. This is what plays out in this. This is our weapon of choice as well. This is like the surgeons and the blood, and the lineage is also, because it's very warriors kind of energy. So, the people that have come before you, this Mars energy can embody the people that have come before you, your ancestors. You feel me? Blood lineage and things like that. So that's a little bit about Mars. And so when we talk about Mars and Jupiter coming together, or Mars in collaboration with Jupiter and this big leap energy, which the big leap energy is this book that I read actually around this time this year. So crazy that I'm doing this now, but I read that book around this time this year, and I lost the book. I don't know where it went, because it still blows my mind to this day where that book could have went, because I had it in my shit. So I don't know where the fuck it went, but I was on the last chapter of the book when it went missing. It was wild. And I'm going to get into that when we get into the big leap. But Jupiter, this book had very Jupiterian themes in it. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like, oh, whoa, well, what better way to talk about the big leap, and what better way to talk about Jupiter than to bring this book into play. And when we talk about Jupiter, we're talking about, you know, it rules over Sagittarius and Pisces. And then we're talking about expansion. You know what I mean? This is higher education, higher learning, the upper echelons, your spirit guides. Okay? You know, this is where we find pleasure. You know what I mean? This is where we gain new ideas and new perspectives. And, this is like religion and philosophy. You know, so honestly, you could really even say Jupiter is the energy of the things that you do on a daily basis. Because, you know, when we think about religion, we think about it in this biblical context. But it's not just that. Religion is what you practice every single day, what you do every single day. And so, voila. You know what I mean? Your Jupiter sign or some of the things, it's your thought patterns, it's your belief systems. This is where you can bring in luck. You know, this is where you can bring in that money, wealth, you know what I mean? Material gain, you know what I mean? How you see life, you know, it can bring a level of optimism. But honestly, I wouldn't necessarily say that each sign per se. I feel like some can kind of play out more than others. But really, like, this more so is like the energy of like you gotta it's how your perspective shifts, you know what I mean? It's really about your internal world and your perspective and how life is and how life should be, you know what I mean? So this is also travel. You know, Jupiterian energy is about travel because Sagittarius and Jupiter, you know, or Pisces, you know, they're always searching for, especially Sagittarius is like searching for that inner truth. Pisces is like, well, you know, sometimes you will never know the truth. So you just have to kind of understand or go through life, you know what I mean, and experience. You know, Sagittarius is about having those experiences. So Sagittarius will jump on that plane and take that motherfucker all the way across to another country to learn the language, to see how other people live. Versus Gemini is like your local community. You know, the people that you know across the street, the neighbors that you say what's up to every day, your brothers and sisters, your siblings, you know, your family, you know what I mean, your family roots, your family tree. And Sagittarius is like, all right, that's cool, but what's out there? You know, what's going on out there in the world? And before I, you know, it's spirituality as well, and you're looking at things from a different way or a different perspective in a different way. But you know, when we're talking about the North Node in Gemini this year, and we're talking about the South Node in Sagittarius this year, it's like a lot of people, and that's why I wanted to really talk about this book and just Jupiter in general. I mean, I know it's the month, but still, because what's happening and what we're seeing is with the South Node in Sagittarius is a lot of people are searching outside of themselves for answers. Okay, a lot of people are searching outside of themselves for answers. I'm not saying that you can't go to other people for guidance. You know what I mean? For other people to give you advice and things like that. But one thing that has been missing, not for all people, but for a lot of people, is them going within. You know what I mean? What's interesting about the story that I told you at the beginning about, you know, my niece's little friend having a dream is that they are a Gemini. And this particular Gemini, you know, like I said, I won't go too deep in the dream, but this was a dream where they ended up dying, and there was a spirit that came up, and the spirit was laughing, you know, at the whole shit. Meanwhile, this, you know, he playing himself and watching this spirit like laughing, like, you know what I mean, like. And like I said at the beginning, like people not wanting to go within to really get you know what I mean, to really get a sense of what's going on the inside. You know, I actually chalked it up to my niece and saying like, it's so interesting to, you know, her even being able to have those conversations at 14, but also too, like, you know how sometimes when people will, if they're uncomfortable about something, and you could tell when somebody's like genuinely laughing at something, but or when somebody's like kind of laughing, like there's nothing funny, but they're laughing because there's something that's uncomfortable, you know, or they're experiencing something that's uncomfortable. And I even chalked it up to the Joker of like, I know this could be kind of an extreme case, but the Joker, I actually just watched the movie recently, and the Joker has like this neurological thing where people think that he's laughing, but he's really not laughing. There's nothing funny. It's just his nerves in his brain has him like like just random times. You know what I'm saying? But he also went through so many things that it was so ironic that, being a clown and you know what I mean, from everything, for those of y'all that haven't seen Joker, I would definitely, recommend y'all go look into Joker because that shit was crazy. But basically, to kind of ring all that in, it was like this North Node and Gemini energy of like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, we search with the South Node and Sagittarius, we've been searching for like all these outside sources, but the real true answer that we seek is already within us. We all have, even if we're not a Gemini sun, moon, or rising, we all have a Gemini within us. We all do. It's in there. Our twin, our inner child, all of those things it's already within us. So the answers we seek outwardly, from the world or wanting leaders and people to change our circumstances, but nothing ever gets changed because we're saying the same things over and over again throughout the history of time. Just a different, like I say, same shit, different toilet. You feel me? So my thing is with the whole situation is like, once we do go get quiet and we're able to get inside of ourselves and really figure out and get to the true source of what's really going on, that's when those answers will come. And not to say that Jupiter, not to say that Sagittarius, Pisces, going on those long trips, going on those long journeys, that's what life is. Experiencing the world, experiencing life, experiencing different people who speak different languages. And I'm not just talking about, dialects and things like that. I'm just saying in everything that they do, from the where they live to how they live, their family, how they eat, how they drink, how they commune, how they build community. It's different. But at the end of the fucking day, this shit is really about what's going on up in here. All of this comes down to what's really coming down in here. So I say that to say the Big Leap. I started reading the Big Leap around this time. It was so crazy because I was going through such a transformational experience. It's probably because Scorpio's in my 9th house. So I'm always experiencing like transformative experiences no matter where I go. It doesn't matter. Short trips, long trips, I'm always transforming me and molding me into who I was and who I am now, and my sister actually recommended it to me, and I was reading the book so much, it was a point in time I remember she was like, well, damn, like, let me read the book. You know what I mean? I haven't read it in a minute, but let me like reread it. But like I said earlier, I got right to the end of the book and that motherfucker was gone. I was in my zone of genius. And that motherfucker was like, bye, figure it out. Yeah, shit was crazy. It was wild. So I put down on this thing. Okay, so the book is called The Big Leap. It's by Gay Hendricks. I thought that shit was funny. Those of y'all that catch on, you'll catch on. But it's by Gay Hendricks, called The Big Leap. There's going to be like a fish jumping from one bowl to a bigger bowl on the front of the cover. But the first notes that I put that came to mind when I was meditating on this book, because it's been a while since I read this book. That was like last year. But I remembered, I had notes and I remembered like what, for the most part, what it was about. And I just kind of pulled out some of the things that I really felt stuck out. But I put, it's time to fly, and what's keeping you? What's keeping you from moving to that next level? What's keeping you from expanding and being able to open your eyes to maybe something different that you can do in your life? And I'm not just talking about professionally, but just to bring you the abundance, Jupiter, to bring you the life that you seek. You know, Jupiter wants to have a good time. Jupiter wants to have fun. Jupiter wants to learn. Jupiter wants to grow. That's what Jupiter is. It makes things bigger. And a lot of times in life, we'll literally play small. We'll go into like this little ball in the fucking corner because we're too worried about what everybody, South Node Sagittarius, what everybody else has to say. And like I said, for y'all that know me, there's frequencies and levels to this shit. So every sign, you know what I'm saying, has its, you know what I mean? It's high vibrational energy and it's low vibrational energy. It's just a matter of which one do you want to be in. You feel me? And we go through peaks and valleys. So I'm not out here trying to preach motherfuckers being perfect and this and all that. Not at all. But what I am saying is do you want to come into this lifetime to play it small, or do you want to go big? Do you want to make that big leap? And if you're here on this particular time, place, and day, and you're listening to me right now, then I know that that's something that you want to do. I know that's something that you've been wanting to take off and do. Now, before we do get started into some of these little bullet points that I've made for this particular activation, I just want to let y'all know before, just make a quick disclaimer that it ain't going to be easy, okay? This is not something that you can devoid some type of struggle. And when I say struggle, I don't mean struggle in the sense of lack, but I mean struggle in the sense of obstacles that you have to go through in order to press forward. There are going to be things that you run into in your mind that are going to try to keep you from moving to that next phase, to keep you from moving to that next level. But you got to have enough belief in your motherfucking self, okay? And yourself to know that the obstacles that try to come up, or the things that try to kick you down when you up, that's just an illusion. And the shit's going to happen. But you got to decide whether you want to stay down and just take a seat, or you face that shit and keep it moving and keep it pushing until you get what it is that you're looking for. You know what I mean? I think finding it within yourself, going through that platonic energy that we talked about in the other video, going through that deep, you know, phoenix rising, phoenix going through the ashes, rising up, you'll get to a place that, you know, you're not necessarily trying to, what's the word for it? You're not necessarily trying to, because I say this, okay, I'm going to say it like this. Some people will keep continuing to search for things to fill them. But I feel like once you get that sense of self, that Mars, building your Mars up to that point, then even if you do, even when you are abundant and you are getting the things, or you're doing the thing, you'll be so fulfilled in yourself that those things are just like what they say, like the icing on the cake. You won't need those other things to fulfill you. It's okay to want things. It's okay to want nice things. It's okay to want. You know, that's something I've even had to learn myself. Like, it's okay to want things. Like, not all worldly or money and all that stuff. That's not necessarily all bad. It's just how you use these things. And I'm not just talking about money, but how you use what it is that you have is what really is going to matter. You know what I mean? Does this define you? Do these things define you? Or are these things tools that you use to do whatever it is that you're doing in your life? You know what I mean? So let's get into the big leap for real. So like I said, it's time to fly. What's keeping you? You know what I mean? We don't believe we deserve to be happy. This is a quote that I put. We don't believe we deserve to be happy, so we cap ourselves with levels of joy. You know what I mean? Like, literally feeling like, well, I mean, I want those things. I hear that all the time. Like, I want this, but, you know, I want those things, but, you know, I want to do this, but, you know, or I want to feel this, but, you know, here's me waiting. You know what? But what? You know what I mean? I want this. Well, who says you can't have it? Who says that you can't? Go for it. Who's stopping you from going for whatever it is that you're trying to do in your life? You got to ask yourself the hard questions, baby. You got to ask yourself the hard questions. Who's stopping you from moving forward in your life, baby boy, baby girl, baby whoever? You got to ask yourself, you know? I put on there after that quote, I said, are you even trying? Now I'm thinking of Aaliyah. And if at first you don't succeed, hey, you can dust it off and try again. Dust yourself off and try again. Try again. Are you trying, though? What does Yoda say? Try, there is no... Do, there is no try. Do, there is no try. You either doing it or you not doing it. Trying is an illusion. I'm going to try. What are we doing here? It's very black or white in that sense. You know what I mean? It's very black or white in that sense. Some people might not agree, but honestly, you either don't do it and you stay where you're at, or you go and put everything that you possibly fucking can to make that shit happen. People say all the time is, what do they say? You know, you make time for the things that are important to you. You will make time. If it means that much to you, baby boy, baby girl, baby whatever, you will make that time. Nothing's going to stop you from making that time. You know, some of y'all might have kids that are listening to this, for instance. Now, if you don't, this is probably not for you. But for the ones that do, you make time to spend time with your kids. Why? Because they're important to you. You know what I mean? You make time to do your work, whatever kind of work that you do, even if you don't enjoy it. But you know, for some of y'all, you know them bills got to get paid. You feel me? So you make time for that. But why not take a chance on yourself? Why not take a chance in whatever it is that you're trying to do? And it isn't, like I said, it doesn't have to necessarily be about professional. It doesn't necessarily have to be, it's just, we just talking about your mission here. You know what I mean? Whatever that encompasses. If it's one thing, if it's multiple things here, what is stopping you? Matter of fact, before we move forward, I want you to actually take a paper. I mean, if you already have a paper out, I want you to take a paper out. And I want you to list about 3 to 5 things that you've always wanted to do. And it could be anything. There's no limit to this. There's none of that. I want you to list it. Go ahead, take your time. What is it that you've always wanted to do? Are you doing those things? Are you moving forward on those things? If not, why? Why are you not moving forward on those things? What's keeping you from not moving forward on those things? You know? Is it your mind? Is it the lack of time? Is it other obligations? I'll wait. You know what I mean? What is keeping you? What is keeping you? You know? Because we are not promised here on this earth. Every single day that you wake up is another day to kick it. Is another day to go get it. whatever it is, whether that's you focusing on your healing right now, which that's a lifetime's work. But if you focusing on your healing, you trying to rebuild and mend the relationship, you trying to do something professionally, like every day that you wake up is a new day. A year from now might not be promised. 2 years, 3 years, 10 years from now might not be promised. So every day that you have an opportunity to do whatever it is that you're trying to do, go for that shit and go hard for it. I'm going to always tell y'all to take time to rest. I'm going to always tell y'all to take time to regroup and recoup. But go hard for it. Why, you ask? Why should I go hard for it if I don't want to hear all that? I don't want to hear none of that. You should go hard for it because it's you. It's yours. It's your life. That's what Mars is coming to teach you. As we're expanding into this Jupiterian big leap energy, Mars is coming to teach you about yourself. Mars is coming to teach you that energy that you have inside of you, it wants you to push forward. It wants you to be selfish. It wants you to be selfish because this is something I learned yesterday. Being selfish with your time, being selfish with your energy, allows you to come through as the fullest you could possibly be. As the fullest you can possibly be. As the healthy you can possibly be. You know what I mean? When your energy is so built up that the energy, you know what I mean? It breeds power for you. It breeds energy for you. So you're able to go out and do whatever it is that you need to do or you trying to do. You feel me? I need y'all to understand this, okay? I need y'all to understand this to the fullest, you know? So, one of the two common things, because we're talking about levels here, all right? So I want y'all to think of fear. Okay, so fear and self-sabotage. Y'all know what those things are. Y'all know what fear is, and y'all know what self-sabotage is. But fear is one of the number one things that leads to self-sabotage. Fear is the number one thing that keeps you from not doing shit, from not moving, for creating self-sabotage, not only behavior, but creating situations and scenarios in your life that keep you stuck, that keep you in the same place, not wanting to move. But what if you did go there? I want y'all to meditate on that. Like, what if you did go there? How would it feel if whatever you wrote down, what would that feel like for you? Imagine that. Meditate with that. Sit with yourself in that. Sit in that energy. What does it feel like to be in that? What does it feel like to be doing whatever it is that you wrote down? What does it look like? What does it smell like? Who's around you? You know what I mean? What's going on in your head? What you got on? You feel me? Like, you know what I mean? What would that feel like versus what you feeling like? Because fear does nothing but take from you. Fear does nothing but fucking drain your energy, drain your spirit, drain your everything, drain your pockets. You know, and I'm not just talking about money and this material currency. I'm talking about spiritual currency. It just drains your pockets. It drains everything out of you. You feel me? And so, address fear. See it for what it is. Fear is something that you can work with. It honestly reminds me of the opposite tail end of Mars. You know, fear kind of Saturnian too, a little bit, but really Mars. of not wanting to take action because of these things. Not wanting to move forward because of these things. You know what I mean? So I want y'all to take stock in fear and form a really good relationship with fear. Invite fear over for dinner, you know. Have dinner with fear. Talk to fear. Let fear know that at the end of the fucking day, all you're doing for me is pushing me in the direction that I'm trying to go. And you can say that with a straight motherfucking face. You come to my fireplace, my dinner, nigga. You come to my fireplace and my dinner. You come to my table trying to tell me what I can and cannot do? Is that what you... You're funny, huh? You're funny. You're hilarious. You come into my house with respect. You feel me? You come into my house with respect. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what that means to me. Fear. You look at motherfucker straight in the face and tell that motherfucker to go fuck yourself. You don't want to work with me? Or you could go somewhere with all that. You really got to talk to fear like that. Fear likes to be talked to like that. Fear gets irritated, I feel like. No, I feel like fear might get irritated when you talk to it like that. But fear likes when you cower to or make yourself small or go into the corner. Fear's like, yeah, that's right. Matter of fact, this is what I want you to think of. Think of fear as a bully. And if you were a bully, hey, joke's on you. You feel me? But think of fear as a bully. Trying to come up in your house. Going in your refrigerator after they done busted into your house, telling you what they gonna do and how they gonna do it and blah, 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 and all this stuff. Throwing up gang signs and shit. Oh, yeah? Word? Oh, okay. Just give me a second. I'll be back. If you don't get your ass out of my motherfucking house, what the fuck do you think this is? Fear? I didn't tell you to come inside the house, fear. You could take your ass back where you came from, fear. Because I'm not having it, fear. Okay? Matter of fact, give fear a name. Give fear a name. Talk to it. Talk to fear. Tell fear what's up. Tell fear what it ain't gonna do and what you gonna do. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. For real, I'm done. For real, I'm done. Let's get to these zones, okay? There's 4 zones that Gay Hendricks actually created. But yeah, you got to talk to fear like that because that little motherfucker will try it. Be like, I mean, well, you're not gonna do nothing. What you gonna do? I'll go up in there and take 3 more sandwiches. What? Using your bathroom, sleeping in your bed, at your fireplace, at your dinner, nigga. What you gonna do? Yeah, that's what I thought. You gonna let fear punk you? Okay, I'm done. No, for real. For real, like, that's the energy that you gotta have with fear. Like, you have to have this kind of energy because fear will try to overpower you, try to overtake you, try to keep you stuck. But if you're here right now, that's not where you want to be, and that's not where you're going to be moving forward. You're victorious. You feel what I'm saying? You have come here to move forward. Not just with this video, but the message that I'm giving to you is that you have come to move forward. Who is fear to keep you held back? Let's get into these zones. So we got 4 zones. We have the zone of incompetence. We have the zone of competence. We have the zone of excellence. And then we have the zone of genius, which like I said in the beginning, I got to at the beginning. And y'all, This shit deleted on my ass. Straight the fuck up. Delete. Delete, delete, delete. Gone. Vinny. Done. Out of there. Sayonara. Deleted on my ass. Gone. Vinny. Okay, I'm done. Yeah. And so, let's talk about the first zone. But before we get into these zones, I just want y'all to take a good deep breath in and out. You know what I mean? No fear shall prosper against me. No fear shall prosper against me. All you're battling is the fear of fucking failing. That's all it is. A whole bunch of bullshit that's trying to keep you from your zone of genius. Zone 1, the zone of incompetence. You suck at the task, and many people can do it better than you. You know, I used to hear, I won't say no names, but for example, you know, I had a homie, you know, I have a homie, you know what I'm saying, because I'm trying to, like, not, you know, but hey, it is what it is. Like, I have a homie who, because I'm speaking in past tense, I remember, you know, she used to come to me all the time and be like, you know, she had her stuff on social media running and stuff like that, and would get so upset that other people were trying to do what she does. Number one, let me tell y'all something. Nobody in this world is you. Okay? Nobody in this world is you. So what does that mean? Therefore, okay, nobody can do what you do. Nobody can do what you do. The only person that can do what you do is you. Nobody else can duplicate that. People might try to copy, but take that as a form of a compliment. You a trendsetter, motherfucker. You a whole trendsetter out here, okay? Take it as a compliment, boo. Take that shit as a compliment and run with it, okay? So when we get to the zone of incompetence, number one, before we get to level, because we leveling up. We on new levels. You suck at the task, and many people can do it better than you. This was just a projection of, well, I'm not doing what I'm doing, but other people are doing it. What the fuck? If we're going to be real, okay? But nobody can do what you do better than you, so just do it. And stop worrying about everybody else, South Node Sag. Stop worrying about everybody else and how they feel and how they think, or what they're going to think, or what they're going to say, or how you feel. And can't nobody you know what I mean? Like, just bye. Bye, bye, bye. No in sync. Bye, bye, bye. Get it out of my head. Not listening to it. So keep that in mind. We got zone 2, the zone of competence. You're all right, but lots of other people can do it better than you. Is that how we want to walk around in the world? Let's work on that solar plexus, you know, sacral chakra energy, baby. Let's work on that solar plexus sacral chakra. Anything that you do, I don't give a damn what it is. You know, for example, what's that boy name? Jacquees. He's an R&B singer. I love Jacquees. Love me some Jacquees. Aries, since we're talking about Mars here. Jacquees, it was a couple years ago. It was like a year or two ago. Jacquees came out and said he was the best R&B singer of all time. Motherfuckers got mad at him because it was like, how dare you, Jacquees? Oh my God, how dare you say you the best R&B singer of all time? Motherfuckers was coming to me talking about, did you hear Jacquees say he was the best? Okay. Well, hey, at least he has confidence in his craft. I can't get mad at that man. I cannot get mad at that man for believing in his shit. Okay? Anything that you do, any fucking thing that you do, you better be the best motherfucker at it. You better be the best. One thing that I don't like is to be compared. I cannot stand to be compared. And most people will call that arrogance, but I don't give a shit. I cannot stand to be compared to somebody else, the next motherfucker. Because I will never be that person. We might have similar, you know what I'm saying, here and there, but I'll never be you. You'll never be me. And I'm okay with that. You feel me? So if we talking about zone of fucking incompetence in this motherfucker right now, stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop trying to, well, these people are, okay, well, that's all you're going to be, is the next man's. But people will see when you embody that energy of like, yeah, that Mars energy, activate that Mars of like, no, I am the best. I am Aries. I am the best at this. Even if you're still in learning, you know what I'm saying? Even if you're still trying to figure things out, even if you just embodying that energy, you know, just embodiment. You don't have to fake it till you make it when you embody it, when it's who you are. You don't have to fake it. It just is. And you continue to learn and you continue to Jupiterian energy to expand, to grow in that. To keep honoring your craft or honoring your healing or honoring, you know what I mean? Whatever it is. Number 3, zone of excellence. You're highly skilled and only a few can hold a candle to you. Okay? This is a zone of excellence. So it's basically like, yo, like, you know, I do my thing, but, you know, these people, they good too. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with any of this. I'm not trying to say one is this. I think it's just being about mentally aware. You know, like, where you at? You know what I mean? Any ones that I've already mentioned. Just being mentally aware of, like, where you're at with the shit. You know what I mean? Nobody can hold a candle to me. Okay? I'm not trying to call or, you know, cause a rift in the astrology community. Okay? But I do believe I'm the best. I do believe I'm the best. Even if I don't know it all, none of us know it all. But I am who I am. Therefore, I am the best. And that's how I come into this shit. I don't come into this shit trying to dumb myself down or I'll pay my respects. Of course. Of course. I'll pay my respects to the people that have come before me or to the people that I've learned from. But to, once again, put myself in that corner and make myself small, I'll never do that shit again. And I'm not talking about the astrology community. I'm just talking about just in my life in general. I'm shining, okay? I'm shining in anything that I do. Because I am the fucking best. And that's it. Zone of genius. You're literally the best in the world. You're the best in the world. The best in the world. Nothing can compare to you. Nothing can touch you. Where? Where are they touching you? They can't catch up. They can't compete. Because the only person that you should be competing with is yourself. Because anything else don't matter. It's null and void. The check won't clear with anybody else. But with you, it's going to clear. You are an abundant being. You are who you are. Okay? Get you some affirmations going. Okay? Write you down some, I am this. I am whatever. Whatever it is, I am. Write down how you want to expand. Look at that shit every single day. Every single day. Look at that shit. I am this. Jupiter. Writing a letter to Jupiter. This is how I want to move forward with this. Okay? It's not here. Jupiter is here to move you forward. Jupiter can also be a little wishful thinking, pipe dreaming, kind of, sometimes lead to laziness. But then that's why we have Cap, which we will be talking about for the Capricorn new moon, okay? And I'm just going to leave y'all with this. For those of y'all that are watching this for the first time, just know from the bottom of my heart, I do appreciate the support. I do appreciate the love. I'm going to continue to do this because this shit is all me. You feel me? And live in that zone of genius. Live in that zone of genius. Live in that zone of genius. You don't have to be arrogant to be a genius. You don't. You just gotta believe in yourself so much that at the end of the fucking day, you does this shit. And don't nobody compare to that. Nobody compares to that shit. Okay? So you already know what it is. This crew, also known as a rainy storm. And I will see y'all in January for the Capricorn new moon. Much love to y'all. And I'll see you soon. Deuces.